What's up, guys? My name is Dr. Eric Petty. This is the 65 Movement. Just want to talk a little bit more about Thou Shalt Eat Your Way Out. I know I've been going hard on why I think you should buy the book and talking about a lot of the reasons that I think people need to eat their way out. But I want to make sure that I keep it clear that this is not just like a scientific book where I'm talking about diets and food. Now, my life is not interesting enough to write like a big old autobiography, but a lot of this book is biographical. Through this book, if any of you have read 65, I like to slip things in that aren't in the table of contents. But through this book, I basically talk about my life. I go from the time when I was a child and I work all the way up to now and how I ate my way into needing to eat my way out. So I'm just going to read a little bit today. Some people think this stuff is funny. I think it's funny, probably not as funny as others because I kind of lived through it. And I guess behind any joke is some level of pain or some level of regret. But I laid it all out. I didn't really hide anything. I told y'all about my feelings in this book. So hopefully when you get a chance to read your copy of Thou Shalt Eat Your Way Out, which you can get at 65book.com, you'll find some of this funny, but then you'll be able to look a little bit deeper and see that, you know what, this is real life. I might be going through this. Maybe your child is going through this. Maybe your mom or whoever is going through this. So like I said, I talked about my whole life. I'm just going to go straight into eating my way in part 8. And part 8, I titled it Hawaiian Honeymoon. Me and my wife went to Hawaii for our honeymoon. So here we go. My wife and I were a perfect picture on our wedding day. I was not as ripped as I wanted to be for our honeymoon on the beaches of Hawaii. However, I looked pretty darn good in my tuxedo at the altar. My wife had worked really hard to get into her dream dress, and she walked down the aisle with legs that would make Tina Turner jealous and arms that would make Michelle Obama put on long sleeves. But in the words of a great Jay-Z song, it was all good just a week ago. And this is all true stuff. This is real life. All right, then I go on to say, I swear that after our first week in Hawaii, I must have hit 230 pounds. During our second week, which we spent in Maui, I met my former favorite breakfast of all time, white chocolate macadamia nut pancakes with coconut syrup. By this time, I basically needed new clothes. With no exaggeration, I probably left Hawaii about 25 pounds heavier than when I came. It seemed that every time that I thought I had outgrown the embarrassment of being overweight, it snuck right back up on me. The fact is, I had never really solved the eating problems I had developed as a little boy. I had simply outworked my problems with my job as a personal trainer or tricked my body with pills like Hydroxycut or Hot Rocks. Without personal training or ephedra in my life, I was on my own. Again, instead of solving the problem, I looked for the quick fix. This time, the fix was Jenny Craig. I weighed about 250 pounds when my wife and I joined Jenny Craig. About a year later, on the day we moved from Ohio to North Carolina, I weighed 202 pounds. Can you see the pattern yet? And you probably can't see the pattern if you haven't read the book and you haven't read all the little excerpts about my life. But it's highlighting that there was a pattern going at this point, that I was going up and down, I was yo-yoing, I was looking for different ways to lose weight that just were not truly a way to eat my way out. It was just my way to move to a different part of the maze that was helping me eat my way in. So I want you guys to get this Thou Shalt Eat Your Way Out. I want you to read my story. I don't know how funny that one was, but some of them were a little bit funnier. I got one in here. I forget what I called it. I think I called it 2 Big Macs and apple pies, or Big Macs and apple pies. Big Macs and apple pies is where we start. 6 wings and cheese fries is part 2. The Atkins diet and my pregnant belly is part 3. I think that one's really funny. And I did a video on that talking about how my friends told me I had a pregnant belly. 385-pound max and protein shakes. That's talking about my bench press max and how I was doing the protein shakes. And So I go through all these different parts of my life. For all my Hampton University alumni, Chanello's Pizza is the title of Eating My Way In Part 5. If you went to Hampton, or if you've ever even been to Hampton, you know Chanello's Pizza. So y'all can kind of relate to me on that. Eating My Way In Part 6 is Bally's Total Fitness. Some people don't know I was a personal trainer at Bally's Total Fitness. I went on to be a personal trainer at LA Fitness. I was like a big time personal trainer at one point with like no body fat, and I was one of the best personal trainers in the region for, I don't know, maybe about a year or so. I was like top 3 in the region, bringing in a lot of money to Bally's in personal training and supplements and all that stuff. And I was in perfect shape, but not even 4 years after that, I was, doing something totally different. So you got to read the book. Eating My Way In Part 7 is Hot Rocks. If anybody used to take those like diet pills back in the day, like Hydroxycut, Hot Rocks was the one that really got me cut. I went on those for 2 months straight and just really cut up something crazy. Any of my boys watching this, I think I went to Miami with Herb, Tyree, Rashid. They probably not watching this, but we went to Miami, and I promise you I didn't pack any shirts. I only packed shirts for nighttime, and that was because I had done a 2-month cycle of Hot Rocks. I talk about that in here, and the funny part is what happened afterwards. Part 8 I just read you, which is the Hawaiian Honeymoon. Part 9 is Jenny Craig. You saw how I led into the Jenny Craig in Part 8. I talk about my stuff with Jenny Craig, and Jenny Craig's not bad. You got to read it to kind of see what my full feelings are on that. And then Part 10, I don't remember what I titled it, but Part 10 brings us all the way up to today. Forks Over Knives is what I titled Part 10. And any of you who know me, Forks Over Knives really was a good catalyst that led me to this journey. But I want you guys to get Thou Shalt Eat Your Way Out. Know that it's not just full of science. It's not full of me just talking at you. I'm telling you almost my whole life story. Well, it's really centered around my eating habits and how I got there. I talk about me being a kid at my grandma's house. And, a lot of what we do now as adults is what we were taught to do as children or what we were allowed to do as children. The 65 movement is all about seniors, but I think when you really look at it, seniors are just older children. They're just old children, because a lot of the things that we are doing when we become seniors are just seeds that were planted when we were children that have blossomed into big trees and with big roots. So you'll notice that you see some seniors, they just can't go away from something, and it's because they've been doing it all their lives. I got some seniors who've been eating chitlins all their lives, and when I talk about how unhealthy chitlins can be and how much they correlate to things like colon cancer and parts of the pig correlate to colon cancer, strokes and heart disease and high blood pressure and stuff like that. They can hear it, they can understand it, but those roots are so deep that they just can't go away from it. So, I'm talking to the seniors, and I want you guys to hear me, but I especially want you adults, you parents, you children, if any children are watching this, I want you guys to understand that the habits that you're building for yourself now, the habits that you're building for your children right now, will stick with you for a very long time unless something really significant comes and intervenes. And luckily, something came and intervened with me, and I hope this book will be that thing for you. I hope you will get Thou Shalt Eat Your Way Out. It will be an intervention in your life that will lead you to a healthy future. 40, 50 pounds later, here I am writing a book called Thou Shalt Eat Your Way Out. I'm still not in perfect shape. I'm still probably not in perfect health, but I think I got a real good chance of living a long life, serving God's purpose for hopefully 120 years. All right, so that's my message for y'all today. I hope y'all are having a blessed Sunday. You can catch me at 65book.com on Facebook, Dr. Petty 65 on Instagram. You can always go to www.65book.com, and that'll take you everywhere you need to go, including this podcast, including the Facebook page and all that stuff. I got the YouTube page up. I got to really start working on that a little bit more. I'll probably do another podcast soon. So y'all just keep rocking with me. God bless y'all.